in order to believe and actually propagate such bullshit, it helps to be urban, affluent, privileged, highly educated, self-righteous, and it also helps if you have a sense of intellectual superiority and you don't need to be persuaded to make other people's lives miserable. That's what this slogan is essentially all about. Fish are friends, not food. And that's not just in Disneyfied brains, it is in fact the popular version of Peter Singer's position on fish and fishing, which is we should stop catching them and eating them. Remember now, the livelihood of 3 billion people depends on fish and fishing, but that doesn't come into it. Never mind, fishing has to stop. PETA is not to be outdone, and it recommends to replace fish by vegan fishless fillets. This woman is clearly ignorant. She doesn't know that fish are friends and not food. She has to be re-educated, and the same goes for these guys here. They need to be sent to an animal rights boot camp to be set straight, so they know in the end that fish are friends and not food. The missionary zeal of the anti-fishing lobby and the animal rights movement as a whole knows no boundaries nor limits. Given half a chance, they steamroll any opposition, including indigenous people. The attitude and mindset towards indigenous people is perfectly expressed by Steve Best. Sorry, Professor Dr. Steve Best. And you guessed it, of course, he is a philosopher. Anyway, he says, I own the native culture. I paid for it with my taxes. Steve Best. Owning the culture is owning the people. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to explain in detail what I think about that, except for stating the obvious, and that is that animal rights is misanthropic, cynic, and absolutely merciless. In my next contribution, I dig a bit deeper into this and then turn to the philosophy of fishing, the leitmotif of which is what is good for fish is good for people. That's it for today. See you soon. Cheers.